say city community to community. This is a test. We happen to be back in the studio, and we listen.
Caretaking, you know, as we all do. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back. I'm back in the saddle. Yeah, we're just.
Blue, you want to start us off? How are you doing today? Tell us a little bit about you and how can people get in contact with some of your good poetry, please?
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Blue Lotus Illumination. You can find me on anyway. You can find my poetry there. And I'm a caregiver as well. I have a 93-year-old dad who's really self-sufficient. But right now I'm doing some fish, and I don't mean to. I'm so happy that Minerva Raw is there. She has much to say. And Joseph, I have some questions I'd like to ask you as a young man. About things about expressing your freedom of information, not limiting information. And in many cities and in many states, I got to turn this official. People are being jailed and tortured and really brought up in court about promoting books about different communities, LGBTQ, the really truth about African American and African diaspora. Um, anything about that doesn't speak to on the table with this election. So it's really scary. We never thought we'd go through this. My father said he went through this in the 1940s because he was born in 1931. It's really insane. So the right to read, the right to information, because information is power. Information, they don't want us to read, they want us to stay in the dark. But we refuse.
What she was saying, democracy. Um, do you and maybe your peers, do you and your peers see this as a threat to our democracy? Do you see what's going on now? First, let me back up. How political are you? Are you engaged in politics at all? Let me answer
Well,
that question.
from a young age, I was kind of always just aware of what was going on. Generation, or even you guys' generation, is that power grab because technology is going to another level, and now like the lines are so blurred as far as what democracy actually is. Because from what I was taught in school, democracy was the ability for the average citizen, where the government works for them. Pretty much, they are servants of the people, and we vote. Our vote counts, and we vote our people in power. That's not really what I've seen over the past 10, 15 years, from corruption to a whole bunch of things I can go down into. So as far as where this is taking us in the future,
This democracy thing is not what it was set out to be. So I'm wondering, in a perfect world, not a utopian world, because it's going to be hard for us to have a utopian world.
oh, that's it. That's the time on the Zoom. Oh, she was getting good.
Okay, everybody, listen. We just lost our Zoom, but we still streaming live. But real quick before we go up, we're gonna turn to our new host.
Through the hospital at the VA. Um, some some veterans have family, some veterans don't, and it just depends. Um, just because you have a family or if you have a big family doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to um, take the time or take care of you. Some of them do, some of them don't. I met, when my dad was very sick, I met a lot of caregivers who were exes.
There come a time that people have to sign paperwork for their loved ones, and sometimes they don't know about that paperwork. Can you please maybe share some to our viewers, to our audience, how important it is for them to have that paperwork in hand? How important is that, please?
Well, first of all, and what I've told many people that I have been in contact with, some of my friends and sorority sisters and those who I speak to in waiting rooms, it's start where people are and you go from there. He always taught me to have a plan, and sometimes that plan just has to go in steps and phases.
Now, I hope by me saying this, it doesn't bring up certain feelings or trigger certain emotions. You've been a caregiver to your mother, father, and to other people as well. You also seen people transition. There's a lot of people who are not prepared.
On board, getting those resources on board and starting to plan and make sure that everything was in place, so when that transition happens, all you have to do is make a phone call and you already have things in place. So, you know, you're looking at funeral plans, you're looking at gravesite, or with the person, you know, memorial service or celebration or whatever looks like.
People in your category, I mean, they have this superhuman thing going on and invincibility going on. Is this conversation something that's, the next this conversation, also this conversation about next generation?
Yes.
How often is that mentioned with you and your peers, please?
Among my peers, not much at all. I've always been a person, I guess you could say I was ahead of my time. I was into personal development, generational wealth, residual income, things of that nature, buying land, investing. I bring up those subjects, no matter how uncomfortable they may seem about it.
Wow.
Well, right now, the sandwich generation is getting slammed because they're taking care of mom, they're taking care of dad, they're taking care of their children, and then sometimes the grandkids. So, depending on the family dynamic, sooner or later it's gonna happen, or may happen, or maybe already happening.
Important, please, women, take your men to go get checked out. Men, take your woman to go get checked out. Families, tell your loved ones to go get checked out. It's very, very important. We're going to end this podcast, this little